I've listened to the album that you did with Van Dyke. I think it's great.
Orange Kid Art?
Yeah.
It is. It's a wonderful album.
Let me just start by asking you, now, with these two 1995 releases, the soundtrack to the documentary that Don did with you, and Orange Crate Art, these are like a very encouraging sign to old fans of yours that, as well as anyone who loves your music, that you're working a lot again. And in the case of these projects, you had Don co-producing, and then in the case of Orange Crate Art, you didn't have to produce it all. Can people expect to see in the coming year you arranging and producing yourself on songs that no one's heard yet?
Not that I know of. Maybe the Beach Boys might get an album done by spring of next year, of next year.
Is there any truth to this that you've been working with the Beach Boys lately?
Yeah, there is. About 3 weeks ago, we did 2 songs in the studio. One was for Carl, and the other was for the whole group. But Carl sang lead on the one song called Soul Searchin, written by Annie Pavey and me. And it's like a stroll thing, it's a stroll type of rhythm. And it's coming out real good. We're not done with it yet, but it's turned out great. It's turned out real good.
Did Don have anything to do with this Beach Boys project?
Yeah, he's the executive producer.
He is? Okay, great. Because when I spoke to him, he mentioned that you had worked on a recording of Proud Mary. That's sort of what was your interest in doing that?
Proud Mary?
Yeah.
I wanted to do, I always loved that song. I thought it's a great lyric, Rolling on a River. It's a great idea. So we did it. We did the track, but we're not done.
So out of that grew these new songs?
Yeah.
Is it possible that you would ever get to the point where you'd say, I don't think I'd work with the Beach Boys again? Could it ever get to that?
Sure could. Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes the guys act a little wise. Wise off.
Could you foresee writing and producing for a group other than the Beach Boys?
Not really, no. I'm pretty true to the Beach Boys that way.
I want to ask you some specific questions about Orange Crate Art because that's mostly why I'm here. Do you feel you're a better singer now than you were in the early days of the Beach Boys?
No, not at all. I don't think I'm quite as good as I used to be because of cigarettes that were in my throat. I blew my throat, my voice, with cigarettes, so I smoked for 7 years. And then I started smoking again for another 3. It totally ruined my throat. It ruined my range, and the quality of my voice didn't have that sweetness in it anymore. It's a very, very hard lesson to learn.
Your voice does sound very good on this record, though.
I know it, but I don't think it's as good as I used to be. I don't know. Maybe it is.
When did you finally quit smoking?
About half a year ago.
Yeah?
About 4 months ago.
Well, that's good that you finally did. When you're touring and doing shows with Van Dyke, performing the songs from Orange Crate Art, can people expect to hear you perform some of the old songs that you and Van Dyke wrote together, such as Heroes and Villains, Sail on Sailor?
Can what?
Can people expect that during that show, you might perform some of the old songs that you wrote with Van Dyke? Like,
yes, maybe we will. We might do that. Yeah.
Heroes and Villains, Sail on Sailor, possibly. Would you do any other old songs?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so. No, I like to keep it more as original material.
You don't think you'd do any of the stuff from that's from the documentary? I just wasn't made for these times.
I don't know. I don't really know.
The album closes with George Gershwin's Lullaby. What effect did the music of George Gershwin have on you when you were developing as a musician?
Totally. I was overcome by him. I thought his music was overwhelming.
You had a hit album in the 70s with the Beach Boys, 15 Big Ones, which you produced, where you covered songs by Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, The Five Satins. As a teenager, you must have been very turned on by the original R&B artists.
Well, us?
The R&B artists that were really
Chuck Berry?
heavy then. Yeah.
Chuck Berry is the man. Chuck Berry was the man that got me going on my songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
There was an innovator I thought was great. He was really good.
Mm-hmm. What'd you feel about Fats Domino?
I never really thought Fats Domino was that. He's not really that bad a singer, but I mean, he just, somewhat of a genius like Chuck Berry, in his own way, in his own right.
Little Richard?
Yeah, and Little Richard, I got woo! The idea of going woo. We're like, I might try that on some of our new records. His screaming thing or his yelling thing was funny. I learned about like exciting from Little Richard. His music didn't really get me that much stuff.
What about the black vocal groups in general? Were you very into?
Like the Del Vikings or really stylistics?
The Flamingos. The Drifters.
All those old records. Totally into those records.
Mm-hmm. Living around here, what LA radio stations would you listen to back then?
KFWB, KRLA.
Remember
those?
Well, I wasn't living here then, but yeah, I heard about them. Yeah. Hunter Hancock, would you listen to him?
Man, did I hear? Oh, now you've hit it on the nerve bone there. You've got my whole junior high trip together. Yeah, actually, yeah. Hunt with Hunter. It was called Hunt with Hunter. Yeah, I remember that.
Would that be on every night, just about? Or?
Yeah, no, I think it was on once a week. I don't know, maybe every night. Who knows? I don't know.
How about Johnny Otis? Would you listen to him?
Yeah, Johnny Otis. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you watch his TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How about Peter Potter? He was another dude that had a show.
What?
Peter Potter. He was a DJ.
Peter Potter. That's something about hit or a miss or.
Yeah, right. Is it hit or hit a miss?
Hit some jamboree or hit parade. Yeah, I thought it was very creative.
Yeah.
That was very, very creative. I like that a lot.
So a lot of that music inspired you to try to get into writing?
Yeah, it does. It behooves me to try to prove myself. I feel inadequate in some ways in life. In other ways, I feel like I'm a strong man, a real strong kind of guy.
Do you believe that part of you throughout your entire career has been trying to create recordings that go beyond the best work of Phil Spector? Records such as Be My Baby, And Then He Kissed Me, You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling, records like that.
Do we what?
Records like Spector records like Be My Baby, or And Then He Kissed Me, The Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling.
Yeah. Sure.
When you think of records like that and the sound that came off those records, do you feel in some ways you've been trying to match Spector's work from those early times?
Yeah.
Do you feel he succeeded with any of your records?
No, but we tried.
Can you make a comment about Spector in general and his work, how you feel about it?
Yeah, I can. Well, sure. I mean, I've always thought that he was the most important producer in the history of the whole business. I mean, there was no one like him. His sounds were so new and inventive. He was the greatest.
There's a song on Orange Crate Art called San Francisco, which you said you like a lot. You've always lived in Southern California.
Right.
Do you have a strong sense of yourself and a personal identity as a very Californian musician and artist? Yeah.
No, not really. I think I'm. No, I never really had that kind of identity crisis.
Do you feel you could have created a lot of the same type of music you did if you had lived in another part of the United States?
No, not at all. Because I wouldn't have been exposed to the records that I was. So for that reason alone, I feel like we got away to California, got away to Los Angeles, got into some studios, found a scene there, and been there the whole time. Been at that place for the whole time.
When you were doing some publicity when you put out your solo album in 1988, and I believe I saw you on David Letterman.
Yeah, I think you might have, but I don't know. You back in 1988?
88.
Yeah, I did. I went
on Letterman.
Yeah.
And I watched that show, and I recall you clearly saying that you made a comment which stuck with me. You said, "There's no such thing as giving up in life." Do you remember saying that?
Yeah, right.
Is this a philosophy you've held your whole life?
I felt this. No. Not until I heard Randy Newman. At different times in my life, I've had that kind of attitude. Yeah.
What was it about Randy Newman's work that
he
might have given you that?
he had a song with when the going gets tough, the tough get going. You know,
Uh-huh.
and I like that. I like what he was talking about.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of got into a little more tough frame of mind, you know.
Uh-huh.
Because he's a toughie.
Yeah, he is. He's a very creative person, too. Have you been, I know none of the songs on this record were co-written by you, but have you been writing lately with Van Dyke, other material?
No, he wrote all the material for Orange Great Art. He wrote it all.
Will you write with him again?
I don't know.
How can you compare writing with Van Dyke to some of the other many writers you've written with over the years? Like
He's more inventive than the other guys. You know?
Uh-huh.
He's just he's somebody who I think is just a little better than the rest of them. You know?
Uh-huh.
Like he has a thing going with music that it's like a little romance. I think he has a romance over making music. You know.
Mm-hmm. Danny Hutton sings on this record.
No, Orange Great Art.
Background?
No,
I saw
Danny
him
Hutton did not sing on Orange Great Art.
Okay, my mistake. But you're still friends with Danny. He was
Yeah.
in the documentary. Do you still have many other friends that go back as far as that, to the 60s? You
No.
stay in touch with?
Actually, no.
What is it? How have you kept your friendship with Danny Hutton?
All through by telephone.
Uh-huh. Mostly? Yeah. A couple of years ago, I was down at 3rd Street Promenade, and I saw you coming out of a movie. I think you were going to see Hero with Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing that movie? What is your definition of a hero?
A hero?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, a hero? Well, a hero is somebody who is able to sacrifice a little bit of his happiness in order to rescue some people and get things better. You know? Hero.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any heroes when you were growing up?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, are you kidding? My dad,
Mm-hmm.
my doctor, and the producers I like. Some of the producers I like. Of course, like authoritative figures in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had a lot of that in my life.
Nick Venet?
Yeah. Nick Venet was one of those kind of guys that you just have to like. There's something about him because you like him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw him about a half year ago at a party at his house somewhere, and I hadn't seen him since 1963.
Really?
I hadn't seen him since early 1963.
Wow.
Almost 30 years.
Wow.
It was really quite a shock to see him.
Huh.
But I'm okay. I mean, it's a shock.
There's also a good song on the record called "Movies Is Magic."
Yeah.
Can you recall the earliest? That song kind of talks about pre-rock and roll era.
Yeah.
Can you recall the earliest music that appealed to you as a child, like late 40s, around 1950 maybe, when you were only maybe 8, 9 years old?
Yeah, Les Paul.
Les Paul?
Yeah.
Anything else, like big band stuff?
Maybe Rosemary Clooney.
Yeah?
And also Glenn Miller.
Are there particular records from that time that you recall
No.
really affecting you?
No.
Would your father listen to big band radio broadcasts?
No, he didn't like me.
No?
He didn't like me.
What kind of music would you hear him listening to?
Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Would you watch that show?
Yeah. We all did. We loved it.
Brian, the music that is constantly in your head,
Yeah.
where does that come from?
I don't know. I guess from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you believe, as some composers and songwriters do, that the music is always out there somewhere,
Yeah.
and that as the artist you merely serve as the conduit
Yeah.
through which the music is communicated
Yeah.
to the rest of us?
Yeah. What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, that's what I wanted to know. What do you think of that idea, that somehow the music just comes through you?
Well, it comes through me because it's put through me. It puts me through it. It comes through me because someone puts it through me.
Who?
I don't know. I never knew.
Do you regard your musical ability as a gift?
Yeah, very much
That's been
so.
given to you?
You know, everybody has music. I was talking on a previous interview today
Yeah.
that that was I don't know. It's a similarity thing. It's a parallel. So. Go ahead, next one.
Okay. I saw a little tape recently where you were talking about hearing Rubber Soul, and that when you first heard it, the Beatles' Rubber Soul, you played it every night for a month, you said. And you particularly liked the songs Michelle and Girl. What was it about that album that was blowing your mind so much?
Well, I like it, probably John Lennon. You know, so I don't know. I think maybe John Lennon's music kind of blew me away.
Did you watch the Beatles anthology? It was just on.
Yeah, I did actually.
What did you think about it?
Well, I was frightened by it. You know,
Why?
because they have such a overly famous kind of image. You know, the Beatles are so famous that like it's almost embarrassing. You know. And when I saw the anthology shows, I felt a little scared, and also a little jealous, but mostly proud. You know. You know, I thought they did wonderful anthology. I thought beautifully produced. You know, and Let It Be, of course, made it all worth it for me. They did that song. Did you see it?
Yes.
I couldn't believe it. We were sitting in a room listening to the anthology, and when Paul did Let It Be, I mean, the whole room just felt like it was going up and up. It's like something really different. You know, very, very spiritual, and I was very proud. Very spiritual moment in my whole life.
You could say, are you saying you felt proud because you sharing it somehow?
Yeah. Yeah, because like he was doing that, and you know, like it depends on where you are when you hear that music, you know. And we were all in this living room, and like there were like 1, 2, 4 of us, my wife and me, and David Leaf, and his wife Eva Leaf. And I'm telling you, I don't know about the rest of the people. I didn't actually even ask anybody, but I know I didn't feel like I was on the earth. I felt like that had taken me someplace that I didn't know where. You know, I couldn't believe it. And Let It Be by the Beatles. Kind of like, well, really something else. I mean, a message song for sure, you know. Yeah, obviously.
But when you say you feel a little envious or jealous.
Yeah.
Of Paul?
Yeah.
I think maybe some people can agree with you on that because you inspired them and you've never gotten the recognition on that kind of level.
No, but see, I don't let myself know that. It's like I don't need to, you know. Because it would just be, who cares, you know? I mean, like, so, you know what I mean? Nice little naiveness about my personality, you know? I'm a little bit naive in some ways. In other ways, pretty smart, too, so who knows? Go ahead.
Well, you know, the critics have certainly appreciated your music, but have you ever felt that your music with the Beach Boys has been kind of taken for granted by the public at large?
No. No, we have people that still come up to us all the time and tell us that they like our music. You know, there's still people that do that.
There's a quote in the booklet. There's an Old Testament quote.
Yeah.
In the booklet that begins. It has something to do with fathers. When you think of your dad, Murray, do you feel thankful that he led you to pursue music?
Yeah. He taught me how to play the piano. He taught me how to, as he calls it, kick ass. You know. He taught me to do that. And just some basic things like get in there and kick butt. Go out there and kick ass in football today, you know, or go out to the studio and kick Spector's butt. You know, he was so competitive. You know. He was more competitive than I was, you know. But he got the flame of the devil under my ass, you know. Get out there and compete. Well, he really knew what he was doing. He's a great coach. My dad made a great coach. He was a nice character. He was a little bit mean, you know, and then rude too. But he's a very cool guy. My dad was a cool man.
Did you feel grateful that he wanted you to pursue it really heavy?
Oh, sure. He kept saying, you know, I mean, it was my mother too. My dad. See, I'll tell you what it really was. To be honest with you, it wasn't my dad, but well, yeah, it was because I remember when I was in the fourth grade or fifth grade. I was sitting in my little chair in class, right, and I start humming these melodies to real softly, the songs he wrote, and I felt that like when I went to school, I was so afraid of everybody that my dad's music helped me through. You know? So when you're a little kid and your father's music helps you through grammar school, you know darn well that's a spiritual thing, right? It's got to be at least, you know that it has to be spiritual, you know?
So you're talking when you're 10 or 11 years old. How is it helping? How is the music helping you?
Oh, well, I was 8 years old too.
Okay.
You know? It was helping me because it gave me love, you know? He wrote songs of love. He really did. He wrote wonderful songs of love. I liked them. I sang them in class, and I think, well, Sure, but that did get me. I mean, it got me farther away from of my teaching. The teachers teaching me. I fucked up a little bit with my grades.
Right.
Because of my preoccupation with my dad's music.
Uh-huh.
So, and I was so preoccupied that when I'd get out of the class, I'd go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and go, well, I've made it through so far today. I'd talk to myself and prep for the next class.
Yeah.
I was so afraid of people that I had to go way out of my way to completely be able to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Do you recall the record that your dad put out after the Beach Boys had hit?
No.
I think he put his own personal record out.
Oh yeah, the Many Moves of Murray Wilson.
Yeah.
I don't know. I listened to it, but I might get to listen to it. He might have something going on there.
Mm-hmm. He must have been very proud of his own music.
He sure was. His music was very good, superior. He wrote very superior music. He's a wonderful, wonderful man with a great heart and a good belt to spank me.
Okay.
He really spanked me hard.
You guys talking about old records?
No. We're talking about my dad, how his music got me through school.
Really?
I'd sit in class and I would hum these melodies to myself, and I wouldn't be so scared.
Cool.
I was so afraid of getting beat up that I sang in class, sang myself.
Out in center field too, right?
Yeah. How did you know that?
You told me once.
Oh my goodness.
Brian, you've written a lot of songs about girls.
Oh yeah, of course.
And you said one of your favorites on this record is My Janine.
Oh yeah, I love My Janine. It's a wonderful song. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Has anything ever inspired you to write more than a girl, like any particular girl?
No, I never ever really wrote a song about a girl. Never did. I've used girls' names like Caroline, or Rhonda, or Wendy, but I've never written for any specific girl. But if I do, it's going to have to be one of the best songs I've ever written. If I do write a song about a girl, it's going to be really good. It'll be a real good song.
So whenever you wrote one of those songs and you named it after a girl, it wasn't about a particular girl.
No.
It was about girls in general?
Yeah.
Just the beauty
of California girls. Instead of saying like, wow, that's all about girls. It is about girls. But no specific girl. I'm sure there's girls out there with the name Rhonda. I wonder if that was written about me,
What is there in the universe that is more beautiful than a girl?
That is probably true. Except music, of course. These guys get the credit for most of the music that was written. Gershwin, Cole Porter.
Yeah. You wrote, you just mentioned the song Wendy, and you wrote that song, I guess before you were married, right?
No, yeah.
Were you perhaps dreaming of having a daughter named Wendy when you wrote that song?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
She's a beautiful girl. I saw her at the screening.
Yeah, she's a wonderful kid.
Yeah.
We're going to cut her. We're going to produce her.
Really? You're going to...
She's going to new album.
Great. It's going to be her solo record?
Yeah.
Wow.
No. She's going to sing one cut on a new Beach Boy album. One whole cut.
And you're going to produce that?
Yeah, it might be in my room, too. I don't know.
Wow. That'd be fantastic. How has your friendship with Don Was helped you to bring the scope of your music and your past accomplishments into perspective?
He's guided me along. I mean, he did my documentary film, and he's doing all the stuff that I need to be guided with. I need guidance,
Mm-hmm.
I'm all messed up because I took a lot of drugs in my life and it fouled my brain out.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to live with the bed I made. I took a lot of very, very potent, dangerous drugs, and it fucked me up. That's okay.
Do you feel you've bounced back from that to a large degree?
I'm trying to do that, yeah. I'm in the process now of trying to bounce back with something that I think would be meaningful instead of just going in there and just to get through it,
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going through life so much, I like to go into life, whatever you want to call it, life or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the song Help Me Rhonda. I was listening to a John Lee Hooker song the other day.
Yeah.
There's a little riff in there. Did you perhaps get part of that
I think so,
rhythm from a John Lee Hooker song?
I might have, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Were you into him?
Huh?
Were you into
John Lee
him?
Hooker?
Yeah.
I wasn't, I don't know. This is going to sound really stupid. Is he a blues singer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know.
How much were you ever into the blues?
The blues didn't do much for me. Ray Charles did.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or to lose.
What is some other Ray Charles stuff that you really dug back?
Well, he did a version of The Long and Winding Road. It was beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember, I think. And What I Say, and George on My Mind, all those songs.
How about, aside from Wendy, can you foresee doing a record for a solo artist that would be writing and producing for them?
I had thought of that, but I think every time I wanted to do that, I either shied away from the project or wasn't able to handle just what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I just kind of followed my energies into the Beach Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was cool though.
Mm-hmm. How have you felt this year, like with these projects coming out and meeting the public more again? Do you feel energized about
Tours?
actually, getting out, like the fact that you were at the screening for your film and involved with that, and doing press and going to New York and everything like that? Does it feel good just to get out and be in touch with the media and the public?
It's great to be there.
Does that help your creativity?
It pushes me through, yeah. It gets me through what I have to get through.
Yeah. Are you aware of just how many people out there think you're great and that you have a special gift that is appreciated?
Some people tell me that. My solo album was met by a lot of praise. People, people like my solo album a lot. They really did.
Was it very disappointing to you that the album that followed your solo album went unreleased?
Yeah, it was stolen.
It was stolen.
From the stolen tapes.
Really? And was that why it wasn't released?
Yeah.
The master tapes were stolen.
Right. The master tapes, the whole library, of everything to do with my second solo album was stolen.
Where were they?
They were in our tape room, in a little room at my studio. And, we sold the studio, but before we sold it, we went to take the tapes out. We discovered that it was called, what was the album going to be called? I don't know.
Sweet Insanity?
Yeah, Sweet Insanity. It had been someone made off of the tapes and stolen. We can put it out.
Any theories about how that happened, or who would want to do that? Or did they take something without knowing what it was? Or?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think it was someone stole it because they were jealous. I don't know. Who knows what? And all I know is they weren't there. And we couldn't find them. We searched the place high and low, and we did not find out those tapes. And there was like a whole shelf, half a shelf worth of master different tapes, and whatever you call it. Just like, so I said to myself, oh man, all that work for nothing, And I said, well, yeah, but I had fun making the album, so what's the deal,
How long did you work on it?
Oh, we must have worked at least for about 8 months.
Wow.
7, 8 months, over a half a year.
People do have, other generation copies of it, so it's been heard by people, right?
Oh, yeah, there are cassette tapes of it somewhere. David?
Yes.
Do you have a cassette tape of the whole Sweet Insanity album? You got it all?
Yes.
Can you bring it over sometime?
Sure.
I'd like to listen to it.
Absolutely. Next time I come over.
All right.
There's some good songs on that record.
Yeah, I know.
Don't Let Her Know She's an Angel.
Yep.
Rainbow Eyes.
Yep.
Wow.
Water Fills Up.
Yeah, there were some cute songs on it. It was a cute album. It really was.
Who else played on it?
Well, there was Andy Paley.
Right.
And this black bass player, and me, and some guitar player. I don't know, just musicians too, that we knew. And, a harmonica player. A lot of synthesized stuff. And a lot of, I had a great programmer who knew all about it, and he made it really easy for me to do that. And they say that sometimes it gets a little tedious and almost discouraging, So he made it so that I wasn't really discouraged. He really helped me get it produced. So I was real thankful that I met the guy. He really, this guy was so quick. That guy, I don't know, it's hard to imagine. Would you imagine? I think maybe what it was scared me to think about this because I'm going back over a time period in my life that was kind of hard for me.
Sure.
But anyway, so that's it. I'd like to quit
Okay,
if I
man.
can. Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. What was your name again?
Steve Roser.
All right, Steve.
Thank
you
you,
very
Brian.
much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Where is this? In the gold one?
Yeah, it'll be in Beaumont.
Great. And you'll send us a copy?
Yes, absolutely.
Great.
No problem.